right, so NaNoWriMo 2025 series, preparing for November. So, as many of you might know, I have a writing book that is kind of classified, but I'm declassifying it for you guys. Only on YouTube for now. Eventually, I might, who knows, I might get it printed. But yeah, so rule 31 is the more you write in your plan, the more words you start with when you write your story. So, two things to note here. The more detailed your plan, the less you have to, when you're writing, the less often you'll get stuck, really. You won't get stuck for ideas because it's in your plan. You've researched it. You've developed your characters. You've developed your story world if it's a fantasy world, or even if it's not a fantasy world. So it really cuts down on the time, really. Another thing is there is a certain way that I write, especially short stories, and especially when I'm on a time crunch, and that is when I write my plan, and then I use the plan, and that plan is my story. So let's say the plan, I've written 500 words, bam, I start the story at 500 words. Of course, it's not finished because it's still a plan. So then I will edit, I will rewrite it. I will make sure that number one, I like the structure, I like what actually happens. Number two, there's enough conflict. Number three, all the loose ends are tied. I'll have a look at characters. Do I like them? Are they compelling enough? I'll look at dialogue and all that stuff, all the expression steps, expression kind of things to do with writing. Um, and yeah, so it really does help. It works in more ways than one. So that's rule 31 for you. Now, this isn't an actual rule. I probably should make it a rule, but read short stories. And I have here read short stories by Roald Dahl specifically because I have been reading Roald Dahl short stories. And these are the ones for adults, or well, for teenagers and at teenagers plus, so that it's not Willy Wonka, Matilda. It's a little bit more darker and gritty, but you can still tell that it's by the same author. Um, yeah, I recently read Man from the South, and before that, I think the first short story that I read from Roald Dahl was Lamb to the Slaughter. That was a while ago. And then I read a few times The Landlady. So yeah, I recommend to read short stories just in general, but also specifically wrote down. And of course, I'm gonna give a few other mentions. Stephen King, Ernest Hemingway, Catherine Mansfield, Ray Bradbury, Neil Gaiman. All are good. All are good. And of course, you can also read you can read novels too. You can read like the opening lines of a novel, the opening paragraph of The Hobbit. I think that's J.R.R. Tolkien, and and all that stuff. But if you're going to write short stories, then read short stories. So this is from the BFG. This is Roald Dahl. The story is the BFG, Big Friendly Giant, and I know that there's a copyright thing, but I'm hoping that this is a fair use, that fair use applies here. And if it doesn't, don't sue me. I will happily take this video down, or I'll just cut this out of the video. All right, so anyways, I should read it. So Sophie couldn't sleep. A brilliant moonbeam was slanting through a gap in the curtains. It was shining right on her pillow. The other children in the dormitory had been asleep for hours. So rule 30, copy the writing style of your favorite authors. And I believe it was Ray Bradbury, one of his advice. This is probably a lot of advice from many authors. Sorry, this is probably the advice that many authors give, but Ray Bradbury has ever said this, to copy the writing style of your favorite authors. So looking back at this, I can see that Roald Dahl started with action, Sophie couldn't sleep, then a bit of imagery, which also ties to her reason of why she can't sleep, and then the setting. The other children in the dormitory was or had been asleep for hours, so dormitory, that's the setting. Okay, so I've color coded it. And so this is what I wrote through copying wrote down. Haley couldn't look away. The 13-year-old boy was a spitting image of someone she once knew. How long had it been? May I go now, miss? Whispered the boy. All the other students had finished entering the classroom and had taken their seats. I probably don't even need to mention the word classroom because students taking their seats, that kind of already tells us where they are. Okay, another thing is to organize your thoughts and ideas. This is really important when you're preparing to write a story, especially when it's a novel, but also to prepare for a pretty intensive, fun, but intensive month such as NaNoWriMo. So this is an example of organizing my thoughts. I've made a lot of mind maps. I have even a design of a spaceship. One is the design from a what is it? A toilet paper, and the other one is inspired by. It's a cup. It's the design of a cup, but it's a spaceship cup. Anyways, and of course it's powered by bananas. So this is one way to organize your thoughts and ideas. Another way is to simply just write. I recommend both, and simply writing it will also help with this. Write 2,000 words a day minimum. And the reason is, well, one reason is that in NaNoWriMo, the minimum to write 50K in a month 1,667 words that you have to write every day. So to write more than what you need in preparation for November will help you. It will get you into the habit of writing this much so that it'll be like the norm. Like it's normal to write 2,000. It's not so normal to only write 1,000. And if you think about it as a reader, reading 2K is very fast. It's not that difficult unless the story itself is, written very, very poorly. But that's all for today for this video. So thank you for listening to my TED Talk, I guess. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Also, before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment if you like, and also you can still submit your stories. I will still read them. I will still give you feedback. And I will still be making feedback videos, but I will also give just private one-on-one feedback videos as well. Also, something that will eventually happen. I don't know when because of NaNoWriMo, but something that will eventually happen is I'm just going to create videos that's just specifically like, here's a technique. Here's something that you can do. Here's something that can improve your writing. So it's not a story feedback kind of video. It's solely a focus on this one technique, with a guided writing exercise to go along with it. But that's just an upcoming thing. All right. Thank you, everyone, and good luck with NaNoWriMo, and I'll see you soon.